The race for governor could be a good opportunity for Republicans after what is now 6 years of Democratic rule.
And with us today, one of the GOP candidates, former West Hartford town councilor and 2014 gubernatorial candidate, Joe Visconti. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Susan Dennis.
So you did it last time, and you want to do it again.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy, though, that President Trump was elected. I worked hard as a volunteer, and so part of me was like, oh my God, I'm so happy for America. And then I turned my sights back on Connecticut and said, what are we going to do here? Should I get involved? And I looked at the field on both sides, and I said, you know, they need a fighter in there. And I said, who's going to fight?
We had you on last time, and you called yourself the Trump of Connecticut.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a liability at these days?
I don't. We have almost 1 million people that are registered that don't vote every non-presidential cycle in Connecticut. And I think they're looking for someone, not Trump, but someone that doesn't look like a politician, a builder, contractor, someone that will fight, someone who's already told the public what was coming. Your previous guests were speaking about the deficits, which I foretold. I'm not a psychic. The information was out there. And I ran real hard last time to tell the public, to tell Tom Foley, tell Governor Malloy how bad it was. And we needed to make the changes a couple of years ago, which we failed to do. And we're in trouble now, bad trouble.
There are some people, though, saying that they wish Donald Trump had a little bit of government experience because some of his inexperience in terms of lack of government skills appears to be showing. You've only been a town councilor for a short amount of time.
Yeah, the race for Congress in 2008 taught me a lot in a year on the road against John Larson. Races can teach you a lot if you study budgets, if you study procedures, policies, which I've done. I'm an avid studier of all these things, which is why I can predict deficits and look at the budgets. And a decision maker is a general contractor, major contractor for 40 years, clients such as the Aetna, the Hartford Insurance, multi-million-dollar projects, decision-making timeline. You're in the field, you're in the private sector, and you know how to make money, and you know how to, you go through the recessions up and down. And that's one of the big things I'm looking at. I'm a fighter that's been through recessions, businesses going down, come back up. And right now where Connecticut's going, they need someone that's going to be able to make the decisions under pressure with a lot of heat. Not even partisan, it's just this is going to become executive decisions. And can you fight? Can you make deals?
Well, you've mentioned, you know, the Trump, so it's only fair in the sense that I think a lot of people, certainly in the election, may bear that people wanted a change. They wanted someone who had business experience. But even Republicans now are shunning Trump and are not happy with some of the decisions and firing Comey and other things.
Yeah, I think the theatrics of Washington and Trump and the administration and things that are happening are one thing. Prosperity in America that's going to continue is going to show itself next year. We're going to see America already coming back, the economy booming. It's not going to happen in Connecticut. My greatest fear is that we continue to lose residents by the thousands, tens of thousands, and I think that's what's coming. We have an image problem. Bigger than the financial problem is the image problem. People don't love their state anymore. They're just, it's insulting, and our standing in the country, we're being laughed at, and that's not good.
In your opinion, what makes you a stronger candidate than a Mark Boughton, perhaps, or Mark Loretti, Prasad Srinivasan, the state representative, and even Len Fasano, who was on our program earlier, may run for governor?
Yeah, they work with government unions as mayors, state reps. Government unions right now, they need a lesson. I warned them last time in 14 they had to give back, they had to help. They don't care. The opposition to the government unions, and I mean the government union bosses, what we've been doing for 30, 40 years that got us here has to be changed. So layoffs, the things that are going to have to happen, they're not going to run a campaign against government union bosses because right now they're not going to give back enough. That's one thing. The big issue for Republicans, will you stand against government unions? And again, I'm not an anti-union person, but right now they're the ones holding the keys to the kingdom that can actually help us. And if they don't help, big time, because listen, we've got, you're going to hear it here right now. Between July 1st now and 2022, we're looking at $12 billion deficit. We go into major recession the end of next year or probably the beginning of 2019, according to Kevin Sullivan. We go into recession. America's moving forward. We're going back. So we dug a hole. We dug it for 30 or 40 years.
Both
parties did it. And how are you going to force them to give back or to at least restructure what Len was speaking about? How do you restructure government? And can you make the decision? Can you take the heat as a governor or anyone in that hot seat to make the decision to push back?
Both Republicans and Democrats seem to be a little more anxious to work together, and I think that's given the fact that the situation is where it is. But they're also looking, both are looking for $700 million in concessions to avoid layoffs. What is your feeling about that?
That's fine as a short stopgap. It's not going to help. We have to look at 25% plus reduction in state workforce across the next 4 to 5 years. We have to change government the way we do it. Efficiency have to go up. We have to outsource, downsize, run it like a private sector. Right now, more than ever because of where we are, because of what we've done for 30 to 40 years, not because of what we've done just under Malloy. In fact, I said it during the debates last 14, Governor, it wasn't all your fault. Well, Governor Malloy, today it is all your fault.
What is your view on casinos? As you know, they've chosen East Windsor as the site. Do you think there should be more casinos? They should open up to an open market?
If you'd like to gamble, I think they should let Foxwoods and Mohegan are going to die in 4 or 5 years if they don't expand to reach out. So I think they should let East Windsor happen. And I put out a tweet today to Roy Grossa, and I think also that they should open up gaming in the southwestern portion, the Bridgeport area, in a move where the state looks for all casino operations in the world that actually can
You don't
bid.
think it's saturated? You think there's room
because
for more? What happens then?
You're not going to drive from East Windsor all the way down to Bridgeport.
True, it's a different market.
We have Aqueduct in New York, and they have in Queens, they have another racetrack. There's not much gaming in New York in that area. So if you were going to do it, if you're inclined, I say right now, we're so desperate for money. I'm looking at thinking we can pick 500 to 700 million a year up out of Bridgeport area. Whatever we get in East Windsor is just going to help them not lose. That's their problem. They're going to, I mean, those casinos are getting competition from Rhode Island near Newport, competition from Steve Wynn's coming in Boston. So I'm not here promoting casinos, but if I was a governor today, I would be pushing. He should be leading the way right now. Let's make a deal. If no state money, it's all private money. Open up a gaming commission, which we really don't have. And I went to some of the public hearings, and I spoke to Joe Varenjo, who's the head of public safety, and I said, Joe, do we have a gaming commission? No, we don't. So we need a gaming commission that's really going to look at how much can we bring in. I don't think MGM will sue if they're given a chance to bid on a statewide casino in a certain region. I think they won't. Right now, they don't want. It's not a good business idea to poach from what MGM and Foxwoods is doing to Springfield. That's not a good business decision, but they have to survive. So what do we do with Foxwoods and MGM? Right now, we're looking at less than $100 million in 5 years from them if they don't expand somehow. So the governor's got to lead right now, and he's not running for re-election. It's his time to lead. Step forward. We need some leadership here.
I think we have time for a yes or no question.
Sure.
Tolls, you support them?
I push for border tolls, contrary to what Len Fasano said earlier. I love them, but the reality is we need to work a deal with the Trump administration. National security in the Northeast Corridor has to happen. We need tolls and border tax deductions or credits for commuters.
Recreational marijuana? Yes
no.
or no? No. Okay.
Joe Visconti, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Up next on Face the State, we take a look at this week's flashback.
Plus, you can always follow us on social media. Would like your comments right now. You can tweet us, find us on Facebook and Instagram.